All right, everybody. A very unhappy Wednesday, my fellow degenerates. This is the UnHappy Gilmore Show, powered by the Green Legion, part of the Green Legion radio family. Coming to you live from the most humble Gilmore abode here. I'm going to sit here and host you for the next hour-ish. And as we try to close out this third day of this week's hostage situation with some fun and banter, and we look forward to Friday Eve tomorrow. Who do we got in here so far? Lou. Oh, right off the bat with the entertainment. Very nice. How you doing, Lou? Kelly McCann. I just saw this. That's why I kind of jumped in real fast here. Just happened to jump on your site to see if you had info for tailgates and you're live. What are you talking about? So this is Kelly. This is my show on Wednesday nights. It's basically just me, though. I'm trying to get some guests in here, and I interact a lot with the room. I don't know what exactly you're looking for as far as information for tailgates. You're welcome to continue to comment here and ask questions. I can try to help. I know I'm going to Arizona in October, but go ahead and ask. I'll do the best I can to answer for you. If not, if I can't answer, I will. I can certainly send text messages and whatnot. So, how's everybody else doing here tonight? We wrap up, like I said, day 3 of this week's hostage situation. Weather's about to break here. We're going to get some cooler weather coming in for the weekend. I am excited for that. As much as I love being able to go out and swim in my pool and lay around like a slob out there, I also do enjoy when we get a break, the humidity blows out, and we get evenings where I can light a fire in the driveway, make some s'mores with the kids, get the projector out and watch a movie or a ball game or whatever out there. Makes it really enjoyable. I don't ever really look forward to summer ending because that means the kids go back to school and cold weather months are coming. I'm not fortunate enough to live somewhere where it's warm year round. So I deal with winter just like you guys do up in the Northeast. Well, not quite as bad as that with the snow that y'all get, but it does get plenty cold here. And it's just kind of a bummer, but the fall's always nice. So looking forward to some cooler weather here. Kelly, cool. Just new to this. Okay, hey, welcome on in. I see you're watching on Facebook. What I can tell you is, you by all means, you watch from wherever you're comfortable. The experience is better through YouTube. And there are other shows that the Green Legion has. I'm the newcomer here, so I'm the novice. The rest of the cast of characters with the Green Legion. Tuesday night, you have Right on Cue. I joined that with Quimby as the host and co-host Sam. And then on Sundays, there's Chris Sack with Greg Murphy doing baseball brunch live, oftentimes from right down there at the Xfinity for pregame for Phillies, and that's a great show, baseball centric, and obviously mostly Phillies, and those two do a great job. And then Thursday nights, you can watch, what they call kind of the flagship show, Green Legion Radio, which records on Thursday nights for an airing on Saturday on 102.5 Fox Sports, The Gambler there in Philadelphia. That's their flagship show. I do not have a show on Fox Sports, but I will absolutely 100%, as I always do, plug those guys every chance I get. They're really a great group of folks and a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, Kelly, you said you're going to move over to YouTube. That's my suggestion. Part of the reason is I know in particular with Right on Cue on Tuesday nights and Green Legion Radio on Thursday evenings, recording for Saturdays, airing a lot. Oftentimes they will play music from, call it AC/DC or, Green Day or whatever. And Facebook kind of kicks the show out, right? Because for whatever reason, they don't think that they have the right to play it. So you end up kind of not being able to see or listen or watch or anything from Facebook. So I always recommend everybody jump over to YouTube. Do us all a favor. When you jump over to YouTube, go on into the Green Legion on YouTube. Subscribe. You'll get notifications for when any of the Green Legion Radio family of shows goes live, and when their upcoming shows will be. And from there, subscribe, and then by all means share. Share with your friends, share with your coworkers, share with everybody. Lord knows I could use the help here on Wednesday night. I do have the normal cast of characters comes in, and they are fantastic. The room is always awesome. So let's jump over there now and see what else we got going on. Is that a Snickers bar in the pool? Not quite sure what you're talking about there, Holmes. Keenan Jaws music playing. Somebody come in the water. Oh boy. Going off the rails quick, huh? Do we have any calendar girls tonight? No, we do not. I am not going to put my wife up to that. And I promise you, none of you want to see me in a bikini. So we're going to work on that. What do we got here? Lou, going to a Facebook food page meetup on Saturday. Real deal, legit food and beautiful weather. Let's not forget about alcohol. Attaboy. That sounds like a good time. We've got no real big plans for this weekend. We've had a really hectic few weeks with my son's birthday last week. And then, we had the trip to Milwaukee and Chicago before that. So we're trying to kind of lay low as we get towards Labor Day and, of course, the start of the football season. And then, the trip to Arizona in October. My wife and I will be out there. I hope to see a number of you out there as well. Should be a good time. Really looking forward to that. I always look forward to my Green Legion trip every year. I wish I could do more of them. If you guys want to see me more out on the road, tell Quimby to pay for it. But anyways, I had talked earlier. I had posted as part of the part of advertising for the show tonight that I may have a special guest tonight. I have a very good friend of mine from back where I grew up who wants to come on here. Works a very hectic job, and then has an hour commute home. So I know he just got tasked with kind of fixing an area of their business that was not operating well. So his hands are full. We talked this morning, and he was going to try to get home to be able to be on tonight. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I can tell you to look forward to that for sometime over the next couple of weeks. I just got to make sure I'm respectful of his time as well. Like with anybody that wanted to come in, and you come in for as long as you want. You want to be in for a whole show? Great. You want half the show? Fine. 10, 15 minutes? No problem. Your time, it's your time. So I'm happy to talk to anybody here. I could do this forever. I could sit here and talk smack about sports from now until the day I die. It's something I've always been able to do. And, I see you guys in the room. You're no different. You can do it as well. I just, as much as I do enjoy being in here, sometimes with my own kind of agenda and things that I want to get off my chest, I do want to move towards having more people come on with me. I think any show is better when it's more than just one person talking, right? And not having a phone. I mean, I could give you my cell phone number to call, but I don't really want to do that in here. I think it would be a better look, a better sell with some more folks in here. Unfortunately, I don't have the studio stuff that that our illustrious leader, Mr. Quimby, does, where he's got swimsuit models coming in and whatnot. So you just get my fat ass sitting here, trying to bring you some laughter and entertainment on a Wednesday night and help to get you through the week. What are you guys talking about over here? Caddyshack, poop emojis, happy or unhappy. Without fail, the room is always fantastic. So before we get off and really rolling here, one thing I did want to say, a very, very good friend of mine, someone who I have known, and he's about 10 years older than me, but I've known him since I was in my mid-teens. He got married over this past weekend. And this is a gentleman who years ago I would not use the term gentleman to describe him. But he got married over the weekend and to a lovely woman who he's been with for a few years now. I had the pleasure of meeting her a few years back when I was up in Connecticut visiting. And so Kenny Lawton, Mr. and Mrs. Kenny Lawton, congratulations from all of us here at the Gilmore Abode. Um, folks here, my Green Legion family here. I hope you guys will, go ahead and give a shout out there for yourselves too. You want to put it in the comments, that's great. But I know from us here, Kenny, if you're listening, if you see this at some point, or if anyone tells you to kind of tune in at about the 13-minute mark, congratulations to you and Leticia. I hope you're having an absolute blast down in Puerto Rico for your honeymoon. You both deserve it very much, and I could not be happier for you. You guys enjoy. All right, enough mushy shit. Let's kind of move on here. What do you want to talk about? Has anybody got any questions? I'm sure I don't have the answers for you. One thing I did want, I want to try to, like I said a couple of weeks ago, we're going to try to balance it out with baseball and football. I told you from the start those two would be my wheelhouse. We will work in college basketball and college football too. I've actually got another friend of mine out here who loves college football, eats, sleeps, and shits college football. He's a massive Ohio State Buckeyes fan, which, nobody's perfect. But I've been trying to kind of work him to get him to come on it and talk some college football as we get closer to the season there. You guys just bear with me. I'm trying to get some guests in here and make it more enjoyable. So hopefully we can get that going. But be that as it may, football time is, we got to work the NFL back in, and I'm not going to beat to death everything you're going to hear on Right on Cue and what you'll hear on Green Legion Radio. We're going to, I'll try to stay topics a little bit different to, just to keep it a good mix. So we're not just kind of, if all of us only talk Eagles, you're just going to keep hearing the same thing over and over again, which is fine in some situations, like how wonderful Jordan Davis has looked at training camp. Right. So, that's something that needs to be called out. He's been an absolute monster. We talked about it a bit last night where, it literally looked like that scene from The Blind Side where he just absolutely mushes this dude and is practically picking him up and carrying him back down the field. He is a man amongst boys. It's the way it looks. He is so big and so strong. But again, stuff like that is stuff that all of us are going to discuss on our respective shows. But I'm going to try to keep some difference in there. Michael Scott, what do you got here, bud? Baseball, aside from the usual suspects, Yankees, Astros, Dodgers, any sleepers you think that could make a run like the Nationals and Braves did to win the World Series? Yeah, I do. I would not be at all surprised if the Philadelphia Phillies made a deep run. And I'll tell you why. And that's a great question, bud. And I'm glad you said something. I don't think it's any secret to anyone that has paid attention to my show, or if you're friends with me on Facebook or whatever, sees my posts. I am a huge baseball fan. So I'm glad you asked the question. I think the Phillies could make a deep run. I think it's gonna be tough to contend starting pitching wise with a team like the Mets, but let's not act like DeGrom is, until we see him stay on the field and make all of his starts. I don't want to hear it with DeGrom. He's fantastic. But what did we all learn with Carson Wentz? Your most valuable attribute is what? It's your availability. So you could be everyone's favorite to win the Cy Young every year. But if you're not on the field making your starts, it's all for nothing. Now, the Phillies bolstered their bullpen. The starting pitching is solid. You're going to get Bryce Harper back sometime in the next probably week to 10 days, hopefully. You know, now with the National League having the DH, as much as I'm not a fan of that, I'm a little bit of a get off my lawn with baseball, where I would prefer there was no DH anywhere rather than DH everywhere. We all know that's not going to happen, so I'm not going to cry over it. But Harper comes back, I would work him in as the DH first, and then get him out onto the field as he's ready. You know, obviously everyone knows he's capable of carrying a lineup, but Schwarber is still, he hits the ball a ton. He doesn't hit it very often. He's kind of an all or nothing, but I mean, the guy's a serious power. He's certainly more consistent than that knob Joey Gallo. But he's not in pinstripes anymore, so we'll move on. But I think a key thing, and we talked about it a little bit last night. Obviously Segura's gonna have to contribute. You got Baum over at third, but I think the contributions you have the potential of getting from Nick Castellanos going forward, and it looks like he's starting to turn the corner. I talked about this very briefly last night on Right on Cue, that he had a monster first half last year here in Cincinnati, right? And he was the talk of the town here, right? And this Joey Gallo is the big star here. I can tell you, Castellanos stole a lot of that spotlight the first half of last season here in Cincinnati. That's a tough thing to do with Gallo on the roster, or with Votto on the roster. See, you got me talking about Gallo again. Damn it. But the second half of the year, Castellanos, not nearly as good. He struggled in the second half of the season out here last year, and it looks like that had carried into the first half of this year in Philadelphia. Now, he left Cincinnati because he wanted to get paid. I'm not going to fault a ball player for wanting to go get money. Your careers are very short. All things considered, you have only so many really top flight earning years, and you need to capitalize on that. So I don't fault him for it. A lot of fans here were upset with him, but ultimately Castellini, the owner here in Cincinnati, really needed to pony up, and he wasn't going to. So he goes to Philly, struggles first half of the season, right? But he looks like he's starting to turn the corner. And if you guys get Nick Castellanos that we saw the first half of last year, or maybe not. I mean, I think he was batting like 360 at one point. That's a little over his skis. But if you get the 300 hitter with power, Castellanos, that I think you guys thought you were getting from the start, if you get that now through the end of the year, this is another guy in your lineup who is capable of carrying said lineup. And you guys become a very, very dangerous team. In particular, you lock up that top, if you're able to lock up that top wild card spot, and get the home field for that first round, that's going to be huge for a team like Philadelphia. I don't expect the Padres to continue to struggle. There's far too much talent in that lineup, so I expect that to be a fight. I would expect the Braves to rebound back to form. They've struggled lately, and Milwaukee has struggled lately. So you're going to be in a fight, but I think the Phillies have the roster to make it a very interesting. You're going to be in the playoffs unless something absolutely catastrophic happens, and I'm knocking on wood for you right now if you can hear it. And they get in and with a decent wild card seed, say the top wild card, and get that home field. I think they could be a very interesting red October there in Philadelphia. That's my opinion. San Diego could go on a run. I would like to see the Phillies go on a run, mostly for you guys. You guys and the Green Legion family. I think it would be great to see. Plus, I think it would add a lot more flavor to the whole Diaz and Sack banter that they have back and forth. What do you got? You guys all over me about Gallo? Yeah, I get it. I know. I was really hung up on that for a while. Had to get it out of my system. He's moved on. He's out in LA. He's apparently hitting better. Some guys aren't cut out to play in New York. They're not cut out to play for the Yankees. They're just not. And I always got to catch myself when I say they're not cut out to play in New York. It's not that. Guys can play for the Mets. Playing for the Yankees is a whole different story. The expectations are enormous. The media coverage is far greater than any other team in baseball, possibly in all of sports. And it's It can be a lot. It can be very much too much for people, for certain players. That's why I think the Yankees would, before they go to just quickly add people and bring in whoever. I think you have to do a deeper dive into the background of these players and see if there's something in their background that would tell you maybe they don't have the mental toughness to handle what goes on in the Bronx. Look, Philadelphia is a tough place to play. Everybody knows that, right? But baseball wise, the Yankees, dude, that is not everybody's cup of tea. That's why guys like Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams, and people like that were able to perform there for their entire careers and fly, and handle media. Those guys are special, that can come in and do that. If you want to take a look at another example, the other direction, a guy like Sonny Gray that the Yankees brought in a few years ago, pitcher from, we traded to from Oakland, and he had a good year. He wasn't like, I mean, if you look at his career, he was kind of up and down. He had that good year. Um, and then we bring him in because we needed the arm. But take a look at this kid's background before you just go and say, "Wow, he was great in Oakland. Let's bring him here. He'll be great." Well, okay, let's take a deeper dive. He went to Smyrna High School in Smyrna, Tennessee. I know that because when we lived in Tennessee, that's where we lived. And Smyrna High School was maybe a minute and a half drive up the road from the house we were in. So he went to Smyrna High School. Obviously, he's unbelievably talented. He goes to college at Vanderbilt. Anybody know where Vanderbilt is? It's in Nashville. Smyrna, Tennessee is 20 minutes away from Nashville. So where does he choose to get? Now, this is a kid coming out of high school who was likely, I didn't look into all the recruits, but who was likely recruited by a number of different schools. He chose to stay close to home. Okay. Now, the comfort level, mom and dad are right there still. Performs well at Vanderbilt, gets drafted into the Oakland A's system, ends up playing his AA ball where? The Nashville Sounds, 20 minutes from his home. Brought up, and then he goes to AAA and whatnot, so he's not always right at home there. But then he's on the major league level in Oakland. Expectations real high out there in Oakland? No, they're not. Okay. Oakland, by and large, not a very good baseball team. So expectations are low. Meaning there's no pressure on this kid. So this is a kid, pitched his high school ball in Smyrna, Tennessee. Went to college 20 minutes from where he grew up. So he's with his mom and dad. I'm not even sure he lived on campus. I'd have to look it up. Pitched at least part of his minor league career in his hometown, in Nashville, and then gets called up to the major league level on a team with no expectations. Has a monster season, and the Yankees trade for him and think that this kid with that background is going to be able to handle the mental toughness, is going to have the mental toughness it takes to handle pitching for the Yankees. It just didn't work. He was terrible. And I think the same thing happened to Joey Gallo. Now, I would tell you I was not happy with the Joey Gallo trade when we made it. I didn't like him. I don't like this modern ball player that hits, 190 to 210. But, he hit 40 homers, so he's fantastic. I'm not hung up on the modern analytics. I fully believe that if at some point any organization, I don't care who it is, if an organization makes a full-on commitment, top to bottom, from scouting to drafting to player development, everything, and make a commitment to guys that are contact hitters first, power second. I'm not saying you can have a lineup that doesn't hit any, that has no power, but contact first, power second, bunch of 280 hitters, a couple of them with 30 to 40 home run power. That team is going to run over everyone in this league. Everyone. It'll be death by 1,000 paper cuts. You can't shift against teams that are shift proof, that can hit the ball the other way, that will lay down a bunt, steal a base, hit a sac fly, take the grounder to second to move the runner from second to third. That's baseball. That's what adds excitement to it. And that's the problem we have today with the game. There's not enough movement going on. So that's my spiel. Let's get a view over here. Lou Mancini. Going to be interesting the rest of the way. It will be. I think that National League wild card shapes up to be a lot of fun to watch the rest of the way. I have my war room downstairs, my main screen. A lot of times I'm playing video games on that because I'm a knucklehead. But my the tower on the left side, I have a screen at the bottom and a small one at top. And generally speaking, I've got the Yankees on the bigger screen because I'm a Yankees fan, but I'll have the Phillies on the top screen. Now, Yankees have been on the West Coast. They've been playing Seattle, although they're on right now, losing 1-0 last time I saw. I don't think that's changed yet. No, it's 4-3 now in the bottom of the seventh. What a giant pain in the ass. So we're not playing good baseball. I'm going to try not to rant too much. Maybe I'll get to that in a few minutes. But, the other screen, I have the Phillies on. One, because, I'm working with the Green Legion now, and I want to be able to stay up on, how they're performing. But two, they're a fun team to watch. They really can be a fun team to watch. So I enjoy watching Philly baseball. I'd like to watch more of the Padres. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch once that lineup really starts to click. And you get Tatis Jr. back in the order there. I am a little tired of the comparisons of Juan Soto to Ted Williams. Can we stop, please? Can we stop? Look, I understand the kid's got a great eye at the plate. He's got tremendous power. But I believe he's batting .240. Ted Williams was the last man to ever hit over 400 in a season. They're kind of not the same guy. Okay, I get tired of it. What else we got over here, Mancini? Do you think Stanton was worth it? No. I understand the Yankees have a fantastic record when Judge and Stanton both homer in the same game. Again, I am not hung up on modern analytics where it's all about launch angle and exit velocity. I don't give a shit about it. I understand that there's benefit to it, but when my leadoff hitter is going up there worried about his launch angle and his exit velocity, we have a problem. Okay? I don't want my leadoff hitter going up there trying to hit home runs. I don't even want my number 2 hitter going up there trying to hit home runs. All right? I want my leadoff hitter to be my traditional leadoff hitter. I want him fast. I want him with a good eye. And even if he ends up striking out, see a bunch of pitches. Don't just swinging from your heels nonsense. Stanton's a middle of the order guy. That's who he is. He's a tremendous power hitter. I mean, that guy hits the ball harder than anyone in baseball. But do I think the trade was worth it? No. I mean, I didn't see the need. That trade came at a time when everything else the Yankees were doing were telling you that they were flushing out bad contracts, older players, and making a movement toward youth and the farm system. And I think somewhere along the way, you have got to take these prospects that you tell everyone is so great. And I got another buddy on Facebook, Bob Hurwitz. He jumps my shit all the time about prospects, about how sometimes I want to hang on to them. And he's like, we never see him trade them. He's not entirely wrong, although we will back and forth with it. They have got to, I think there's, and I hate using the Red Sox as an example for anything, but just take a look at what Boston did with Mookie Betts, Rafael Devers, and Xander Bogaerts. Those 3 guys, they brought them up, they put them on the field, and just said, we are going to deal with the growing pains. Betts is now in LA, but, at the time, you could have, before he left, you could make a case he was one of the top 3 players in baseball. Xander Bogaerts is a very solid ball player. And Rafael Devers he might be a top 10 player in the game. But they didn't, it's not like Devers and Bogaerts came up. The Betts was pretty special right away. But like Devers and Bogaerts, you had to deal with some growing pains there. But the Sox just bit the bullet and dealt with it. The Yankees, all we keep hearing about is Florio and all the, what's the shortstop? It's the same story all the time. Volpe, the shortstop, that's supposed to be in the next coming of Christ. We just keep hearing over and over again how great all these prospects are, but we never see them. Right? Dominguez, another one, was supposed to be great. Well, where is he? Right? Instead, you have a guy like Aaron Hicks who's hogging up a freaking roster spot. Right? Finally, we've got. It took another injury, for Miguel Andujar to get back up on the major league roster. I hope to God that kid comes back up with a huge chip on his shoulder and puts the Yankees in a position to ditch Aaron Hicks. Now, that's going to take a lot because Aaron Hicks signed a very team-friendly contract as far as his salary goes. This was a 7-year, $70 million deal. It's $10 million a season. At the time, he would have commanded probably more than that on the open market. He may command more than that now, even though I don't know. He's been bad. And he's been injured a lot to the point where he's not even a reliable center fielder anymore because his wheels aren't the same. I like the trade for Benintendi. I want to get Aaron Judge out of center field. The wear and tear on our best player is not good. Yeah. So I mean, the Yankees have pissed me off over the last few weeks. They've been not great since the beginning of July, but lately it's been putrid. And I'm tired of the on paper great Yankees. Kiss my ass. This is why a couple of months ago, when there was all that talk about the Yankees, breaking the single season win mark and comparing them to the 1998 Yankees, the greatest team that I've ever seen. And I came on here on my show and threw a fit that I did not want to hear it. And this is why. Because now you're in a tough spot. Now you look like shit. And now it's, what's wrong with the Yankees? It's baseball, folks. There's 162 games. You are not going to win 150 of them. You're not likely to win 110 of them. Okay? So all those comparisons early in the year, I said it then. Enough. Knock it off. First of all, the team doesn't need that kind of pressure to live up to some expectation of the 1998 Yankees. That 98 Yankees team won 114 fucking regular season games and then went 11-2 in the playoffs. Their overall record with a World Series title was 125-50. And you're going to sit here and try to tell me that this team this year is as good as that. Not a freaking chance on a planet. That was not going to happen. And now here we are, heading towards mid-August, a month and a half of the season left, maybe a little bit more. And the same old wrinkles are starting to show with the Yankees now. You got Garrett Cole and a lot of inconsistent shit behind him. And I'll be honest with you, Garrett Cole has not been consistent. He'll go a stretch where there's the Cy Young winner that we thought we were getting. And then he'll absolutely fall flat on his face. So when I told everyone to pump the brakes a couple months ago about the Yankees win total, this is exactly why. And I am not much of an I told you so guy with a lot of things, but with this kind of shit I am. I told you so. Knock it off. And stop putting the pressure on Aaron Judge, too. Okay, 44 homers. Look, do I think he can get to 61, 62? Yeah, I do. But I don't want to hear about it until he's got at least 50 or more on September 1st. That's my rule. Get within 10 with a month left to go, then we can talk. Until then, shut up. I promise you, I think I said it in the advertisement, there was going to be a Yankees rant. There it is. They've annoyed me. Some of you have asked me, now that Joey Gallo's gone, where my focus of anger will go. Aaron Hicks is one. The other one is Josh Donaldson, who I've now called Nobbledson. He's been terrible. He's got this year with the Yankees. He has the lowest on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS of his career since his rookie season. It's also his lowest batting average. Taking out the 2020 season. He's been terrible. And he might be another one that's just ain't cut out for the play in pinstripes, man. It takes special guys that aren't rattled. And I mean, I can tell you, watching his at bats, he looks awful. His swing looks terrible. He looks lost at the plate. I'm done. I'd put LeMahieu at third every game, and let Donaldson figure it out. All right, I think I've kind of ignored you guys for a few here. So I talked about Stanton real quick. I like Stanton as a guy. I think he's a good dude, but overall, was it worth it? It aggravated me at the time because I thought we were making a movement towards youth. This trade, it's not like Stanton was old, but the trade went against what we were doing in calling up our own guys from the minors. So I didn't care for it. Keenan, 10 singles are better than 2 homers, right? That's the way I would like to see it. I'd like to see good. Look, there's a time and place for homers, man. Homers used to be special. Okay? A guy hit 50 home runs in his season. You were like, holy shit. A guy hit 40 home runs in his season. It was, wow, that's a big year. Now, you get guys that bat 210, and if they hit 40 homers, everybody acts like they're the second coming of freaking of Ted Williams. Get out of here. I prefer the traditional lineup. Give me your speed at the top of the order. Guy who can take pitches, get on base, and steal some bases. The number 2 hitter, I like him to be able to bunt, hit the ball the other way if he's right-handed. Be able to move that runner from first to second or second to third if the leadoff hitter has gotten on and stolen the base. My number 3 hitter is my best overall hitter. Probably not the biggest power hitter, but has power. But he's my best overall hitter as far as batting average and power combined. My cleanup hitter, more pop than my 3 hitter, not so much on the average. My number 5 and 6 hitters are Dave Conant, bam. Beautiful timing, my friend. Rob Deere and Dave Kingman would bat like 5, 6, 7 for me, somewhere in that area. Just slug. And then 8 and 9, do what you can to get on base and turn the lineup over. That's it. So, anyways, Dave, you missed the whole baseball thing if you hadn't been in here with me. So I'm moving on from baseball here, guys. Oh, except for one more thing. Tomorrow night, if you're not, whether you're a baseball fan or not, tune in. Tomorrow night is the Field of Dreams game. Now, the 2 teams playing in it are not good this year, the Cubs and the Reds. But that Field of Dreams game last year was a lot of fun to watch. And some of it had to do with the fact that it was the White Sox and the Yankees, and there were homers all over the place. I would tell you, I think they wound the balls up. I think the balls were juiced. For both sides. The White Sox won with a walk-off. And it sucked as a Yankee fan to see them lose, but it was such an entertaining game to watch. I love seeing homers go flying out into a cornfield. It's just fun. So give it a watch tomorrow. If you can, and enjoy that. Cubs, Reds. I don't have a rooting interest either way, but I'll definitely have the game on. All right, we're going to move away from baseball now. I'm sure a lot of you are real upset about that. I wanted to. Has anybody seen what's going on in New England with the Patriots? I can't help myself with it anymore. If you've Dave, okay, Dave, you were listening. All right, well, good. I'm glad you didn't miss my bitch fest about the Yankees. So I know you get great pleasure out of seeing a Yankee fan upset with this team. But anyways, the Patriots and to a lesser extent the Seahawks, but the Patriots in general. I want to start there. Have any of you seen what's been going on? What's been going on up there? I mean, you want to talk about an arrogant man. Yeah, Russ, beautiful. Yeah. Oh no, the Patriots aren't looking good. Shut up. But there's reason for it. For one, Belichick has not drafted well. Okay. His draft picks, he's not. Man, who did they drafted? That I forget. I'd have to go back. I didn't write down a whole lot of stuff about this. I'm kind of just winging it. He's not drafting well, in particular skill position, really overall, but his skill position guys are terrible. You know that the Patriots wide receiver core is the most expensive in football? And please, let's take a look at these fabulous wide receivers that the New England Patriots have. New England Patriots depth chart. Where's the ESPN? There it is. Here we go. Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers are listed as their top 3 wide receivers. Behind them, Nelson Aguilar, Tyquan Thornton, Christian Wilkerson. Third string, Trey Nixon, Lil Jordan Humphrey. That's literally what's listed there. And Matthew Slater, and then all the way down the depth chart on what they have, the fourth string is Josh Hammond. I mean, who the hell are these fucking guys? It's like the major league line, right? Holy hell. I mean, you know who Devontae Parker is. Obviously, we all know who Nelson Aguilar is. It's the most expensive wide receiver court in football, and they don't have a guy who can really separate. This is indicative of a defensive-minded head coach who has refused to get with the times and what's going on in the NFL. I'm not saying that I like it or that any of you have to like it. I prefer traditional football where we need to have a running game and all of that stuff. The bottom line is the NFL has gone past crazy, okay? And it's all geared towards the offense. Yes, you have to play defense to win your Super Bowl, no doubt. But you have got to be able to score points to even have a chance to be in the playoffs and have a chance to get to said Super Bowl, okay? And Belichick is not getting with the times. Not breaking my heart at all. I freaking love it. But the skill positions are terrible on that team. And second-year quarterback, right? So Josh McDaniels leaves, right? Their longtime offensive coordinator, offensive guru to complement Belichick's, defensive prowess that he's always been known for. Josh McDaniels, he leaves New England and he goes and he's the coach in Vegas now, right? Is that what I wrote? Yeah, Vegas. I thought so. And who do you decide to replace him with? Belichick. Who's your choice? You go find an offensive mind, somebody who can scheme some plays and stuff. Nobody's afraid of those skill position players. Probably going to need someone to come in with a good offensive, good understanding of how they can scheme an offense to still be able to move the ball and score points with the lack of talent. No, he doesn't do that. He went ahead and put Matt Patricia as his offensive coordinator. Anybody know who Matt Patricia is? Matt Patricia, we'll give you the full rundown here. I'm sorry, he's the senior advisor for the. So he's a defensive coach, okay, and you have him advising the offense with his second-year quarterback, who is now coming out of a season where he looked pretty solid as a rookie, but he had Josh McDaniels there designing his offense. Now Matt Patricia is going to go in there with Belichick and whoever the hell else and try to design an offense. Anybody see that going well? I don't. I think you can make the case right now that the New England Patriots are no better than the third best team in that division. Okay, Buffalo is the best team in that division. All right, as long as they stay healthy and Josh Allen continues to do Josh Allen things, they're going to run away with that division. I would put Miami ahead of New England right now on paper. Okay, I'm not trying to say that Belichick can't figure out a way to win. We all know he's found ways to win before, whether he's cheated or whatever. But it just doesn't look good. The optics are bad. I think you're more likely to see a regression from Mac Jones this year, and a team that struggles to score points. And then the Jets are obviously at the very bottom of that division. So that's New England, right? They, not getting with the times, but at least they've got a quarterback who's competent. Let's jump ship over to Seattle now, where Pete Carroll has also not gotten with the times. You notice the trend here? 70-something-year-old defensive head coaches. It's not looking real good going into this year, is it? Pete Carroll in Seattle just lost one of the best quarterbacks in football in a trade to Denver. Russell Wilson's gone. Okay. So the fact that Seattle was even mildly competitive in games over the last few years was 100% because of Russell Wilson being their quarterback. I know Quimby doesn't share that same sentiment with me, and that's okay. We don't have to agree on everything. But I happen to be I like Russ a lot better than Q does, and I think provided everyone else stays healthy in Denver, they did just already lose a receiver. That's going to be a problem. But I think Denver is going to be a damn good team with Russ at the helm. Seattle, on the other hand, we'll trade away Russ and fuck it. We don't need a quarterback. We'll have a competition with Drew Lock and Geno Smith. And guess who's winning the competition? Apparently, it's Geno Smith. Yes, everyone. Geno Smith, whose biggest career accomplishment was getting punched in the face in his own locker room, looks to be possibly your week one starter for your Seattle Seahawks. Woo-wee. All right, Pete. That's not going to go well. All right. And it's not going to be, and they signed DK Metcalf to that huge deal. I'm surprised the kid decided to do it, given what's going on there. I mean, his numbers are going to take a shit. So maybe he's better off getting the money while he could before, his numbers look bad and he can't go get a decent contract. But it's not going to be his fault. And it's all on Carroll, man. Him and Belichick both, they just don't get it. You have to have a quarterback. And you have to be able, and you have to have skill position players. You have to have the quarterback, you have to protect the quarterback, and you have to have weapons for said quarterback. Okay? Somewhere mixed in there is getting after the quarterback too. Put it in whatever pecking order you want. But those are your most important spots. And these guys, you can't only look to get after the quarterback. Now, Pete, I think, is in worse shape than Bill. Pete also is in the division with the Rams, the defending Super Bowl champions, although we don't know what the hell's going on with Stafford and his medical problems now. And the 49ers, who, I don't know. I don't know that I would trade Jimmy G. I didn't like the trade to move up and take Trey Lance. That one feels a little sketch, but we'll see. Here we go. Anybody get Dave? They both think they're smarter than the rest of the league. Too very arrogant guys. Spot on accurate, brother. It's exactly the point I'm trying to make here. They do. They just think because they've been around for a while and had success. And look, let's not be foolish here. Belichick's won 6 Super Bowls as the head coach of the Patriots. He also won 2 as the defensive coordinator of the Giants. So, I can appreciate a level of arrogance with Bill. Pete, he's got a Super Bowl. He's had some success, don't get me wrong. But if you can't spot that the league is evolving away from what your strengths are, you've got to change. Look, it's happened in college too, okay? Even Nick Saban has admitted, I can't stop. I can't just sit there and coach defense. I can't stop all these guys. All right. I have to get with the times. So what's he done? Alabama has practically become a wide receiver factory now. That wasn't his MO when he first took the job there. They're built on defense and running the football. Now they've got quarterbacks that are lighting it up, wide receivers that are coming out hot, and the defense is still there because they're fucking Alabama. But yeah, Dave, you know what? And it certainly looks this way. It certainly looks like Brady, obviously was the more important part of the equation. I don't know, man. I fucking hate both of them. And I'm sure if Sam sees this, she's gonna want to vomit with all the Brady with any kind of Brady talk. So, um, but yeah, I mean the two of them both, they're in trouble. Okay, they are in trouble. You have Seattle, who's actually got a weapon in DK Metcalf, but who the hell's getting them the ball? Geno Smith. And then over in New England, you got a quarterback who looks competent, but you got nobody developing any kind of offense, and you have no skill position players, even if you had someone trying to develop an offense. That's a mess. Um, it, I don't. I think it's hysterical in New England, and I'm sure Brady somewhere is laughing, and so good for him. All right, let's jump over here again. I know I like to go back and forth. Fucking WNBA playoffs. Yeah. Sorry, all the trophies I have here are too big to talk about WNBA playoffs. What else did I miss in here? Matty Patty, he was the guy who looked suicidal. Yeah. Yes, at the end of Super Bowl 52. Yeah, because there was no defense played in that damn game. all except for Brandon Graham with the sack fumble. That was beautiful. Lou Mancini, what do we got here? Hurts, if he figures it out, can be like Joe Montana. I know he's my favorite all time, but he couldn't throw the long ball well. This is very true. If you're just comparing it from that aspect, as far as arm strength, okay, I don't disagree. What I would be careful of is what Montana lacked in arm strength, he made up for in accuracy. And confidence. My God, that might have been the most confident quarterback in the history of the NFL. You think he was your favorite, Lou? I'm surprised Dave hasn't chimed in yet because I'm sure he's going to have something to say about Montana. Look, I think Jalen Hurts has a chance to do really, really well. I think he could have a monster season, but he doesn't need to. Okay, we just need him to be good, above average, and good. He just don't mess it up, right? Don't turn the ball over. Nobody's perfect. Turnovers are going to happen, but let's limit them. Let's not do it in big spots. No red zone turnovers, things like that on both sides, right? No red zone going in, no red zone coming out. Turnovers. It's just puts you in bad spots. Montana, what do we got here? Montana can read the field. Hurts need a lot of work in that area. Yeah, agreed. He does. He's got to stop. It's not even so much missing the open receiver with a throw. It's just missing the fact that the receiver was open. And so hopefully, look, we've talked a lot about that on Right on Cue. And I know the guys on Thursday night talk about Jalen Hurts a lot as well. And we will continue to talk about Jalen Hurts a lot here because that is obviously, an incredibly important, if not the most important part of the team. I like Jalen Hurts a lot. And you've heard me say this before if you've watched this show or you've watched on Tuesday nights. I like Jalen Hurts a lot. I think the kid works hard. I think he's smart. I think he's tough. He's incredibly athletic. And the thing that I like most is that he was forced to eat his humble pie while he was still in college, right? This is a guy who lost his job to Tua at Alabama after being a damn good quarterback there. So he had to take that on the chin. He transfers to Oklahoma and goes bananas at Oklahoma. So that humble pie has already been eaten, whereas a guy like Carson Wentz never had to eat that humble pie. Okay? Never. And all the reports out of Washington now, if anybody's seen that, is that Carson Wentz looks like shit down there. He is not interacting with the team. The practices aren't going well. He looks terrible. How hysterical would it be if Taylor Heineke ended up being the starter down there over Wentz? Yeah, Lou, very good. Right there. From the neck up, everything Carson wasn't. And I would say from the neck down, now Carson's got a much bigger arm. Accuracy wise, I don't think Carson's that. I really don't think he's better than him. I think Hurts and Wentz are pretty equal accuracy wise. Hurts is the better athlete, obviously. Not that Wentz early on couldn't move. I mean, he moved pretty well until the knee, but Hurts is definitely the better athlete. Dave, what do you got over here? Montana, second best quarterback ever. My favorite, but I have to. Oh, of course, yeah. We've talked about that. Also, the system helped Montana a lot. Yeah, and somebody named Rice. Of course, Rice, Taylor. It doesn't hurt that you were pre-salary cap era where teams that could draft that talent, develop that talent, could retain that talent with no limitations on what they could spend. Same could be said for the early 90s Dallas team. Yeah, Carson looks like shit in Washington. Hurts, we just need to see consistent progression from Jalen. That's all that needs to happen. Just keep getting better, dude. Keep getting better. Don't screw it up. Don't turn the ball over in bad spots. Try not to turn it over at all if you can, but we all know things are going to happen. See the open receiver downfield and, and hit him. Hit him in stride. I look forward to seeing A.J. Brown on bubble screens where he just sticks that shoulder into a 5'8" corner and runs him the hell over. I look forward to A.J. Brown taking some of the double coverage away and seeing what Devontae can do one-on-one on the other side with his speed. And Goddard over the middle as a tight end. This team has we've beaten it to death, but this team has a real chance to be special this year. The defense should, if it stays healthy and performs to its talent level, the defense should provide the offense with a lot more chances to score. And the offense, again, should it stay healthy and perform to its talent level, should capitalize on said opportunities. And I look, guys, when you look at the NFC East, I think you're looking at the Philadelphia Eagles as your division winner. I really do. I think Dallas took monster step backwards, and I don't expect that defense in Dallas to perform the same way they did last year. Trayvon Diggs is not going to be able to repeat what he did last year. Now, Micah Parsons is a whole different animal. Okay, that kid is special. He's an absolute animal. I'm a Penn State fan. Yes, I know a lot of you guys, Ped you, blah, 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 blah. Get it, got it, whatever. But he was special at Penn State. He is special in the NFL. I hate that Dallas got him because now I have to root against him. But he is, if you tune into a Cowboys game, just watch Michael Parsons. I watched one game last year, one possession. Dave asked me to talk about the Cowboys. So here, Dave, I'm going to talk about Micah Parsons, okay, specifically. I forget who it was against. It might have been against the Giants. Watching Dallas. I think it was Dallas versus New York. And so first down, second down, third down, I'm going to tell you exactly what Parsons did. So first down, he rushes the quarterback, okay? And he's in Jones's fist. Second down, he's playing the run and stuffs the run. I think it was coming up the middle or off tackle. Third and long, pass goes down the sideline, heading towards the end zone, and it gets broken up. Some 30 yards downfield. By who? Micah Parsons. Okay? These are the things that this kid is doing down by down. Forget game by game. Down by down. That's the type of animal we're going to have to deal with facing for 10 years, at least, as long as he stays healthy. It's unpleasant. But outside of that, Dallas's offensive line is not the formidable unit that it was a few years back. Jerry Jones, the Cowboys making these statements that they want Zeke to continue to be the focal point of the run game. By all means, keep giving that friggin' little Ewok the ball all you want. you're going to get Dak coming with, with CeeDee Lamb and who? They're waiting for Gallup to come back off injury. Dak in his career has been terrible when he didn't have Amari Cooper. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But I think the number of steps that Philly took forward versus the number of steps that Dallas took backward. I think you have a team on the rise in Philadelphia and a team very much on the downcline in Dallas. And that's why I think the Eagles win the division. I'm not sure that a second team is coming out of that division again, like last year. It's been a pretty piss poor division. The Giants are going to be abysmal. Okay, the guy that was going to come on here and join me tonight, he must have gotten held up at work. I'll talk to him later. He'll be on sometime next week. He is a Giants fan. I've left it up to him when he comes on whether he wants to discuss NFC East football or not. I made him well aware that this is a Green Legion podcast, and the cast of characters that comes in to banter, mostly Eagle fans. So, and the Giants do not look to have a very good year. And he admits it that he doesn't think so either. So, I don't know if we'll get much Giants talk out of them. They look terrible, and they're fighting all over the place in camp. The offensive line can't block anybody in practice. They're just awful. Daniel Jones is obviously not the answer. He was a big reach at 6. Everybody knows it. And in Washington's got one elite unit, their defensive line. They can get after the quarterback as good or better than anybody in football. So, but we have a mobile quarterback. So as long as you scheme well enough to design your offense for that game anyways to combat the aggressive nature of the Commode's defensive line, I still think these are victories, guys. We're going to play 6 games against the division. I believe we're 4-2 at worst against the division. So, there's a lot of wins on our schedule this year, in particular early on, which is great because it gives a younger kind of new group of guys those games to get rolling, get the confidence in playing together, get just learning to gelling, trusting each other, all the things that have to happen for a team to start getting rolling downhill and steamrolling folks like we did kind of on that stretch last year when we moved to the run game and started playing bully ball. I'd like to see a lot of that this year too, and let Jalen work off the play action would be very helpful. But again, like we talk about on Right on Cue, I am not convinced we have a running back on this freaking roster. They're all the same guy. Just Boston Scott's shorter than the rest of them. That's really the only difference. So, anyways, one last thing before this will be kind of the last thing for the night. I wanted to talk about a bunch of quarterbacks tonight, but I went long-winded with some other stuff. One I am going to touch on in particular is Aaron Rodgers. My older brother is a massive, well, I don't call it massive. He's pretty chill, but he's a big Green Bay Packers fan. He has been since Favre was there. If I remember correctly, Favre's the reason why he's a Packers fan. I know Dave will probably have something to say here in a minute because he's not a Favre fan. I'm indifferent on Favre. I liked Favre because he was fun to watch. Part of being reckless makes you fun to watch. But I couldn't stand Favre at the end because of the whining, and I want to, I want out of here. I want to go to Minnesota. Oh, I'll go to the Jets first. It's just a mess. I'm retiring. I'm not retiring. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, what is this? Dave, what are you doing to me here? Can you do championship caliber ping pong players next week? We'll cover that next Wednesday, bud. Aaron Rodgers. So I'm sure by now most of you sports fans have seen the reports that he went in. I don't even know if I'm saying this right. Huaxa retreat some. So it's defined as a psychoactive beverage native to South America and used for religious, ritualistic, or medicinal purposes. The side effects are vomit, diarrhea, euphoria, strong visual and auditory hallucinations, mind altering psychedelic effects, fear, and paranoia. A couple Aaron Rodgers quotes from his little trip down here. He went to one of the ceremony for one of these things. The ceremony is drinking the tea made from this plant under the guidance of a respected shaman for a long night in deep connection to a higher intelligence and understanding of one's true self. A couple of quotes from Rogers. It gave me a deep and meaningful appreciation for life. I came back and I knew I would never be the same. You absolute friggin' weirdo. Now, the NFL has come out and said that this stuff would not have triggered a positive test result on either substance abuse or performance enhancing drugs. And I think that might be because it's just not listed there. They're probably going to have to add this shit to their banned list. But what in the hell? What a weirdo this guy is. You know, incredibly talented, and Favre was talented too. When you look, when it's all said and done, between Favre and Rodgers, you're going to have, I don't know, what is it, 30, 35 years or whatever the hell the case may be, consecutive of Hall of Fame level quarterback play and one Super Bowl to show for it. I don't think the Packers are getting back there. I've beaten that to death with the loss of Devontae Adams. I think is much bigger than anybody's given it credit for. But somewhere between 30 and 40 years of consecutive years of Hall of Fame level quarterback play, and you'll end up with one Super Bowl to show for it. I think part of that is the dysfunction that may be caused by a team that doesn't have a real owner. Look, I love the Packers for what they do as far as their, the team is owned by the city of Green Bay, by the residents. But I think it leaves something to be desired. You know what? And I was going to talk about the Green Bay Packers and all their stuff. But I think we're going to save that for another week because I'm getting a little longer than two. They were an hour and 10 minutes in. Let me jump back over here. Dave's on a roll. Brett Favre, the Nolan Ryan of football, just as much bad as there was good, but both were fun to watch. I think that's fair. Of course, Nolan Ryan, I mean, what's everybody's favorite moment? Where he beats the shit out of Robin Ventura. I think that's fair, though, Dave. I do. Keenan, in other words, he got fucked up. Yeah, he did. And found a way to do it where it flew under the radar of the NFL substance abuse. So, I mean, look, Aaron's out there, man. He's just out there. It was a few years ago where he's, RELAX, relax. We're going to be fine. He was probably going to these freaking seances or whatever the hell they are back then. The whole where the non-existent relationship with anyone in his family that's become somewhat of a public thing. His relationships, his significant other relationships. I mean, he's just a weird dude. Now he shows up at training camp looking like Nick Cage from the freaking Con Air movie. Put the bunny back in the box. I don't know. I break my brother's balls every time I get a chance. Like, hey, dude, you out there dropping blotter hits with Aaron Rodgers? Anyways, that's all I got for this week, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope I've helped to kill some of the time here for you and entertain you in the process. Hang on here. Then we got Dave. So if you smoked pot but said you were in a tent and it was peyote, would you pass the drug test? It depends on what's listed on the NFL's thing. Whatever. If they find a substance that's on their list of banned substances or illegals, so there's two different groups from the way I understand it. There's your substance abuse which would be your weed, cocaine, acid, things like that. Um, Alcohol to a certain extent. And then there's your performance enhancing steroids and all that jazz. Apparently, this shit wasn't on either list, so it didn't pop a bad test on them. I mean, what a mess. But anyways, I had to move on here. We are 10 after 7. I'm starving. My fat ass has started a diet. Um, I've had a chicken salad so far to eat today, so I'm about to crawl out of my skin. I'm so damn hungry. I think it's egg whites for dinner. Yay, no carbs. Anyways, this has been the Unhappy Gilmore Show, brought to you by Green Legion Radio, part of the Green Legion Radio family. I hope you've had a great time this evening. For Lou Mancini, Dave Connick, Kevin Harden, Mike English. Who else was in here with us? Oh boy, Russ Taylor, Cindy Lou Who. We'll throw your name up there too. We had a new. Where was she? She was very early on. Keenan, Kelly. I hope you found information you were looking for. Hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you continue to tune in. Please subscribe and spread the word. But for all of us here at the humble Gilmore abode, to all of you out there, you enjoy the rest of your week. Oh, my kids start school next week, next Tuesday. So come next Wednesday's show, I'm going to try to show some pictures of how miserable they were on their first day. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to have some s'mores, have a fire, and an outdoor movie. I hope you guys enjoy as well. Hope the weather cools down for you. This has been the Unhappy Gilmore Show, brought to you by Green Legion Radio, and I will see you next week. Guys, again, enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend. Y'all take care. Thanks for tuning in.